I like to read, and not just professional literature dealing with the ministry, but I like to read just for the pure enjoyment of reading. A wide variety of books. And one of the first places I visit after moving into a new community is the public library. And Don and I checked the one out in Moundsville the first full week that we were here in Glendale. And when we were there, we ran into Debbie Shabanak. Now, we didn't know her name was Debbie at the time. We just knew that it was someone we had seen at Glendale the previous Sunday, which was our first Sunday here. I can read you like an open book. Have you ever heard that expression? I can read you like an open book. You know, after being married to Donna for 48 years, sometimes I can, but there are a lot of times that I can't as well. And I suppose that I'm the same with her. I don't know. But what about you and I as Christians? What would people outside of our experience, non-believers and people of other faiths and the curious, what would they learn if they were to read us for a while? What would they read? What would they learn? There's an old gospel song out there called The World's Bible. And the lyricist Andy Johnson Flint included these lines in this old gospel song. If we're the only Bible, the careless world will read. We are the sinner's gospel. We are the scoffer's creed. We are the Lord's last message, given in word and deed. But you know, that idea goes much further. In the New Testament, Paul wrote to the Corinthian Christians saying this: you yourselves are our letter, written on our hearts, to be known and read by all. And you show that you are the letter of Christ, prepared by us, written not with ink, he says, but with the Spirit of the living God, not on tablets of stone, but on tablets of the human heart. And the text before us this morning from Romans 15 reminds us that we Christians need to be readers of our actual book, the Bible. Paul says, whatever was written in the former days was written for our instruction, so that by steadfastness and by encouragement of the Scriptures we might have hope. And he goes on to say in verses 5 and 6, but also readers of the living book of our faith, Jesus Christ himself. We need to be readers of that living book, Jesus Christ. And he says in 5 and 6, live in harmony with one another, in accordance with Jesus Christ. And he goes on to say, and we should do all of this so that together we may be one voice, with one voice, glorify God and Father, glorify the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. It would be easy this morning, I imagine, to make this a sermon on how good a book we are. Flint did that in her song lyrics that I just shared with you. And here are the two lines that follow the ones I just shared. What if the type is crooked? She says. What if the type is blurred? And I say to you this morning, well, what if it is? Well, what if it is? What Christian's print isn't blurred a little bit? And which one of us so perfectly represents Christ that we are the inerrant Bible to the world? Anyone hear that perfect? No, if someone were to check us out, to learn what being a Christian is all about, and if we told the whole truth, they'd likely discover some gaps in our pages. But some of our chapters are still in the process. And our table of contents contains some entries that don't seem to build toward a cohesive whole. You know, in some churches there are intentional structures where attendees can get such a read of each other. There's small groups where people might tell one another what the Christian journey has been like for them. In other groups, such information might be shared during joys and concerns. And others have in their order of worship a time called testimonies, where anyone who feels led to stand up and tell what following can stand up and tell what following the Lord means to them. I remember I had been here 3 months and we had a healing service, and the question I put to the congregation that was here that morning was, where has it been in your life that God has made a way when there didn't seem to be a way? And, you know, I was afraid to ask that question that morning, to tell you the truth. Because I didn't think anyone would stand up and share. Shouldn't have been afraid. It's a great opportunity. Folks begin to pop up all over the congregation. Well, one of the shortcomings of such structures is that to some degree we are being read by people who already believe. But still, that's not a waste of time, really. You know, such telling of personal stories allows us to strengthen and help and pray for each other. And it also helps us to know where we need to dig deeper into our faith. Or further, it's a good training ground, good training for opportunities we may have to be read by the seeker or the unconvinced. But the best sharing of faith comes naturally. And it's usually among people we associate with on a daily basis. At work, at school, wherever that may be. The Apostle Paul advised his readers, always be ready to make your defense to anyone who demands from you an accounting for the hope that is in you. 1 Peter, that's in 1 Peter chapter 3. But wanting to do that is a prerequisite. If that hope, if that hope is strong, so will your willingness to share that hope. And the fact is, whether we are looking for such opportunities or not, we are always, folks, being checked out by people who know we profess the Christian faith. Did you know that? Whether we're given opportunities, whether we're actually seeking opportunities to share the fact that we're Christians, folks have an eye on us. And they're reading us, or they're attempting to read us. We're always being checked out. And this doesn't mean standing on a street corner. It does mean that one way or another, we are being checked by people who hear us claim to be followers of Jesus. And we need to be open books that are easily accessible and easy to read. The African American spiritual, There Is a Balm in Gilead, sings of a healing balm that comes from God. And in one verse it says this: if you cannot preach like Peter, if you cannot pray like Paul, just tell the love of Jesus and say he died for all. And there's an alternative version out there that I like even better. And it says this: if you cannot preach like Peter, if you cannot pray like Paul, go home and tell your neighbors Jesus died to save us all. It may seem a small thing to let a neighbor, a friend, a family member, or even a stranger check us out as disciples of Jesus. Do you know what, folks? It can be life-changing information for them. So be an open book. Easy to read. Remember, some of your chapters are still in process. When I look in the mirror, I don't see a perfect Christian. And when I look out here, I don't see a perfect Christian. We're all a work in progress. And we're nothing special. The special one died for us. The special one died for us. So be yourself. Love Jesus. And love your neighbor. Even those who are unloved.